Good evening, everyone. This is Robert, RJL 518. Welcome back to another edition of World War II Leader, continuing our foray through the Dan Versen games of the Leader series. Tonight, it is U-Boat Leader, and we're continuing The Battle Begins, the campaign we started, which ranges from September 1939 to May 1940. We're now going to begin the second patrol utilizing two U-boats, U-43 and U-44. Our current evaluation at the moment is 16 for a medium campaign, so it is still dismal. But if we could have sinking a good amount of merchant ships in this battle tonight, we can maybe at least get to adequate and maybe a possible good. So we shall see what happens tonight. This is the final patrol of this campaign for U-Boat Leader, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. And we'll see if our submarines can do the job. So they've all returned to, so U-43 and U-44 have returned to port. We have reshuffled our cards as I usually do when we start the next patrol. At the moment, there were no promotions, although U-43 is very close to a promotion. He needs one more experience point to go from veteran to ace, so that would be good. U-44 has only 5 experience points, so he needs 6 more to get to ace as well. Steeler Fan joins us here in the North Atlantic Ocean to watch the conclusion of this campaign for U-Boat Leader. According to the U-Boat Leader sheet, and of course, all stress has been removed. These boats usually didn't have much stress. So we had 10 victory points for U-43, 8 for U-44. But when there's a turn where there's new U-boats at sea, you subtract 2, which pretty much is kind of like the Allies rebuilding what happened. So we are down to 16. So far, nobody has been sunk. And let's hope it stays that way. Brian Patterson also joins us here in the North Atlantic. So we are all set and ready to continue our patrol here. I'm not going to do any special missions with 2 submarines. These guys are just going to go out there and try to sink. And this time we're heading for the British Isles, so we're going to put them both in there. So everything is ready. So we're not going to expend any special option points, no special missions. As you can see, there's really not much we can add here. So we are going to go ahead and let's get to it. So here we go. So we go straight from the strategic segment to the operations segment. U-43 is going to move first. So we'll move U-43 into the North Sea. And he draws a event card for moving. So let's see what he gets. And he gets morale boost. Remove 2 stress from this U-boat. But he does not have any stress already, so this card is negative. We move from the North Sea into the British Isles. And he also gets an event card for moving into that. Ultra Intercept. Place a U-boat warning counter in this campaign map area. So that means that's going to already subtract 2 from the British Isles area when we search for contacts. And so U-43 is now in the area, and he will stop there. Now U-44 will begin his move. U-44 moves into the North Sea, drawing an event card, and he gets maintenance. You may spend 2 SOs to remove 1 stress from each U-boat. There is none, so we discard it, and we now move on to the British Isles for U-44. And we draw another event. Lone Merchant. If the U-boat is not unfit, it may expend any 1 torpedo to gain 1 victory point. It will do so. So U-44 is going to go down to 5 victory points, to 5 torpedoes. So he is going to get a victory point already. So that's a good start for him. So we now start the second patrol. Both experiences are veteran. So I got to write that in here. So he starts with a victory point. Not too bad. Good way to start for our 2 subs. So both of them are in the British Isles. Now we have to see what happens as we now begin their patrol to see if we can find any merchant ships in that area. So no special missions, so we go straight to the looking for contact. So first now will be U-43. And U-43, he is a searcher. But there is a -2 contact warning. So really, it's only going to be, so he adds 1 to the contact, but because there is a -2, it's only going to be a -1 on the search car for contacts. So let's see. And that is a 6 becomes a 5. And that is going to be, there is 1 contact discovered there. So there is a contact. So let's find out and see what it is. And we've got 3 merchant ships and 3 escorts. 3 merchant ships and 3 escorts. Gotta try to sink something. 3 escorts and 3 merchant ships. I am going to. We're gonna go ahead and do it. We're going to do it. So we gain. So there's 3 merchant ships and 3 escorts in the area. So we're going to go ahead and do it. So let's see what we get. So we're going to go right after them right now. So we have 3 escorts on the board. And let's see, maybe we can sink something big or anything and then just get out of Dodge and be happy with it. Three escorts, though, can be dangerous, so we got to be careful with 3 escorts. So there's our setup. And so we have 1 contact. So we go put a 1 there, letting people know there was a contact left. And so now, so we have that. So let's see. So U-43, where are we going to put him? Let's see. U-43. The 3 escorts are up front with the 3 merchant ships. I may try to take a shot at the straggler. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in submerged, and I'm going to come in on this section here. And maybe take a couple of shots and see what happens. Maybe here we'll do it. So come from this area here because lag will move us back down. So U-43 will come up on that. And now we got to find out and see what the special event is going to be here. And it says deck guns add 1 light hit to attacks against surfaced U-boats. Okay, so that means that we're not surfacing. So we're not surfacing here. We aren't, obviously. So let's get right to it. Now, of course, we're coming in here, so we already got to figure out which escort this is. And it's going to be a frigate, a Ballandary class. So Ballandary class frigate is already there. We're still out of range of these 2, so we still don't know what they are. Okay. So now let's move. We're going to go ahead and move here. We're going to take a chance. Hopefully we don't get detected by the Ballandary. So we're going to come into here. All right. And we're going to stay at speed. I think we're going to come at speed probably I think speed 1. We'll stay at speed 1. So now we have the lag. So they will move. And now, of course, we can find out what these 2 units are as we move closer. So let's see what this one. This ship is a Beaverburn class large freighter. So that's the Beaverburn. And of course, we may see the same names pop up like from the last battle. That's why I just say it's a class. This ship here is the Zwiderkirk medium freighter class. So we have a large freighter and a medium freighter on this side. So I think our best attack is to try to take out the Beaverburn. That's the larger ship. That's the larger ship. Now we have our lag, and our lag is going to move us once. They're going to move one space forward. There are two, so once we're going to move one space back. So we're going to be here, and where we're going to come into here, we're going to be two spaces away from the Ballandary. We still don't know what ship this is here. We're too far away, or the other escorts. So I think we're going to come down here. I'm going to probably take a medium range shot on the Beaver Burn and try to sink that and then get out of Dodge. Be happy getting a ship. It's worth 2 victory points and 2 experience points for U-43. But now the escorts get to move. So the escorts, first they got to try to detect. There's nothing in they can only detect a submerged submarine at a range of 1. So they're not going to be able to detect us at all. So they just move. So the Ballandary, let's see what he does. The Ballandary rolls a 1, and let's see what he does here. And he moves one area counterclockwise. So the Ballandary actually moves into here. This ship here is a 9, and he's going to move clockwise. So he actually moves closer. So now we can find out what this escort is, and that is a Hero class destroyer. So that's a Hero class destroyer is what that is. And this guy over here, he is a 0, and he is also going to move clockwise. So he is going to move into here. He's too far away, so we don't know what this escort is. So we've got a Ballandary frigate, a Hero destroyer, Beaver Burn freighter, and Zwiderkirk freighter. And I think we're going to go after the Beaver Burn and try to sink this guy. So they know they can't detect us. We're submerged. We are not aggressive. We're not aggressive. The enemies will attack, but they can't attack because they haven't found us. So we get our turn, guys. Too early in the war for hedgehogs. There are no hedgehogs in this game. There are no hedgehogs for the U-boats. I don't believe the Germans I don't believe Germans had hedgehogs. I don't know that for sure. I know the United States had hedgehogs. I do not know if the Germans ever used the hedgehog. I don't remember. I don't know. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember seeing Germans using hedgehogs, but if they did, if they're not, the hedgehog is not used. There are some special torpedoes that they do have, but it's too early in the war for fat torpedoes or anything like that, Type 10s or something. So U-43 is going to go after the Beaver Burn. So let's go ahead and take our shot. So we have he has a +1 torpedo skill. So it is +1, -1 per range. So that's going to be already a -1 because we're 2 away. So it's -1. I think we're going to fire a full spread. I think we're going to fire and get out. Just try to sink something here and get some points. So I think we're going to fire. In order to sink the Beaver Burn, he needs a 10. So in order to sink the Beaver Burn, we need a 10 at least to hit it. So I think we have to have at least. I'm going to fire 4 torpedoes at it. I'm going to fire 4 torpedoes at it instead of full spread. So I'm going to fire 4 torpedoes at the Beaver Burn and 2 at the Zwiderkirk, and see if we can do some damage to either one. So here's how it's going to go. So against the Beaver Burn, it's plus the strength of the torpedo skill modifier, so +1. Okay, -1 per range, so we're at -1. We're going to fire 4, and we get, so it's -1. We're going to fire 4. We get -1 is 3, so it's going to be a +3. So actually, we're going to get a +2 to each die to hit the Beaver Burn. So we're going to fire 4 at the Beaver Burn and 2 at the Zwiderkirk. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll sink both. So our first shot will be against the Beaver Burn. We need 8s. We need 1 8 to sink it. We need 1/8 to sink it, or 2 heavy damage. So here we go. Fire 1. Shoom. Nope. That's gonna be a total miss. Fire 2. Shoom. A 2. That's gonna be a total miss. Fire 3. Shoom. A 4. That's gonna be light damage. That's gonna be light damage so far. We need an 8 to sink it. Fire 4. Shoom. Oh, God, that was terrible. Oh, that stunk. So the beaver burn does get light damage. We take the highest die roll, so 4 plus 6. And 6 is between 5 and 8. So the beaver burn takes light damage. So his speed is reduced to 1. So we do light damage against that ship, but we stunk in that one. Now we go after, now we fired 2 against the Zwiderkirk. Maybe I should have fired a full spread. The Zwiderkirk is 2 hexes away, 2 spaces away. So we get +1, then -1, and we're going to fire 2 torpedoes -1. So it's straight torpedo. It's actually straight torpedo. It's straight dice roll. For the Zwiderkirk, in order to sink it, we need a 10. We need a 10 to sink the Zwiderkirk. So fire 1 on the Zwiderkirk. Shoom. Nope. That's going to do light damage. And the second shot, shoom. A 9. Ugh. That's going to do heavy damage on the Zwiderkirk. So the Zwiderkirk, you take the highest die roll, so the Zwiderkirk takes heavy damage. Takes heavy damage on that ship. You only take the highest die roll. It's not like you get light damage and then you add heavy damage. When you fire a spread, you only take the highest die roll you get. It was a 9. We needed a 10. At least I don't think let me see. I'll just double check it. +1, 0, -1. We only fire 2 yeah, so not enough. So we do light damage on the beaver burn and heavy damage on the Zwiderkirk. And that is all we do against these guys. And these torpedoes are gone. Oh, that was awful. So, well, didn't do well on that one, it looks like. So not a good start for U-43. Couldn't get the job done. So we go back to movement, and I've already expended my torpedoes. As I said, in U-boat leader, you can only reload your torpedoes when you're not in combat. Gato leader, you can. You'd spend a turn to reload torpedoes in Gato leader. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to surface, move 2 spaces, and we're off the board and we're out. That's it. So that stunk. We surface and get the heck out of Dodge, and we are off the board. And unfortunately, we did. The Zwiderkirk is dead in the water, but we're not going to get any points for that as we did not sink it. So they'll tow it in there. And although hopefully we did put it, out of action, but that's pretty much it. So U-43 is gone. There are no more contacts, and it goes into the searched box. So that one stunk. That one kind of stunk. So then we go to post-combat resolution, and we do add a stress. So it did get a stress. So this one, I took it off the wrong one. It was U-43, right? So U-43. So it does get a stress. He has 1 stress. So he does take a stress. We reload the torpedoes, so we'll take this 7 and put it back into a 6. And now there is 1 left is stored. And that is it for U-43. So hopefully he'll have a better better turn in the next sign in the British Isles. So U-43. Let's see what else he gets here. So record experience points. We didn't get any because we didn't sink any. And that is it. So these guys we couldn't sink a ship, which kind of stinks. So that is it for that. All right. It is U-44's turn, and he's in the same area. That stunk. I was hoping to get at least maybe one damage there, but nope. The dice gods weren't with us that time. All right, so U-44's turn, and he is got to go ahead. He's going to search for contacts. U-44, he has no special traits. We still have the -2 warning in there, so whatever it is, -2. So let's see if he finds anybody this turn. That is a 1. He does not, because that 1 can't go any lower. So that is a 0. So he finds no contacts. The warning prevented us, unfortunately, from finding a contact, because a 1, well, the 1 is still a 0 anyway. So nothing happens for U-44. And that is the end of that part of the patrol. So now we go back to the refit segment. The no U-boats got promoted. No U-boats got promoted. The victory point went to U-44. He sunk the lone merchant. And no patrol limits. The stress recovery. He is cool. U-43 is cool. So he does recover the stress at sea. So he goes to 0 there. Each U-boat, we reload our torpedoes for the ones that didn't. And we now go back to the start. So let's continue our patrol. We'll go back to U-43. He will be first. So we move both U-boats again into the British Isles. Now U-43 is patrolling, so he draws 2 event cards for patrolling. We do that first. So the first one is clear weather, no effect. It does say June 1942 fatal error, but we're not in that. So no effect on the first card. And the second card again is clear weather, no effect. So nothing happens to U-43. Now he gets to go ahead and search for contacts again. Hopefully he'll do better this time. So this time there is no adjustment except for U-43 search ability. So we add +1 to the roll. That is a 2 and becomes a 3, and there's still only 1 contact. So only 1 contact in the British Isles. So let's find out what this contact is. And we have 4 merchants and 2 escorts. Let's go after them. So 4 merchants and 2 escorts this time. See what he comes up with on this one here. I hope you guys like this game. I think this game's a blast. I guess I'm playing a little too cautious. But the only thing about this game is that once you fire your torpedoes, you really got to get out of there, especially if there are escorts. If there are escorts, you pretty much fire your torpedoes and get out. This is not like Gato Leader, where Gato Leader, you fire torpedoes, you can take a turn to reload and then fire again against the Japanese. This game, but remember also in Gato Leader, they have dud torpedoes, okay, as a standard rule. Here, it's an optional rule in U-Boat Leader. Okay, so what we got here? So we got 2 escorts and 4 merchant. And he's going to come in submerged, obviously. And, we'll come in through the side again. So we'll come in on that, and we'll see what we got. All right. Now let's also find out what our special card may be for the convoy card. And it is Iron Nerves. Add 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. Oh, that's nice. Which means we get in close and we take as many shots as we possibly can. Add 2. That's pretty good. We should be able to maybe sink a couple of ships here. Well, we come in here. Let's see which escort this is. And it is a Daring class destroyer. So the Daring is back. So the Daring is back. Now we got to find out what we got. Now we're going to move, and we're going to be risking detection against the Daring. So we're going to try to move here. Remember, we have lag. So we're going to move. I think we're going to move into here. But the thing is, we gotta be at range 0 or 1 to get that plus, which means I gotta take a chance of being detected by the Daring. Unless I can lag it in there. Let's take our chances. So U-43 is I'm gonna go ahead and move into here. And now we find out and see what these 2 ships are. So this one here is gonna be a Tiverton medium freighter class. So that'll be the Tiverton medium class freighter. Or probably pronounced Tiverton. So Tiverton class medium freighter. This ship here is going to be the Robin Moore medium freighter class. Whatever he may be here. Here he is. So here's the Robin Moore. And now we can find out what that escort is. And that is the Kite. It is a sloop class escort. So he joins in the fight. All right, so we got the Robin Moore and the Tiverton, 2 medium freighters are only worth one victory point each, but got to try to do something here right now because that last battle was not good for us. Okay, so now we have the lag, and the lag is going to move us into here. And we're going to get, and these guys do get a chance to detect us. Actually, the Daring speed is a 3. Actually, that moves us into one of these guys. Actually, that's right, because the lag, you go with the highest speed. I may have a better idea. Pick a merchant or naval ship on the tactical display with the highest speed. No, they're 2. I think instead I'm going to go speed 0. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go into the same space as the Robin Moore, which means only the Kite. Actually, you know what? Not the Robin Moore, the Tiverton, because the Daring does not detect as well as the kite does. So detect is a 6. So let's see what happens. So here we go. So we're going to move into here with the lag and move there at speed 0. So now we're right in the middle of the fray. I could call for a wolf pack, but I'm not going to. And now, of course, now that we moved here, we get to find out what these ships are. So this one here is the Orari, the large steam merchant, and that may be the better one to attack. He's worth 2 victory points. So Orari class steam merchant. And this one is the Pirates class steam merchant. Okay. So now we know what we're facing up against. Just gotta find it. It's here someplace. Where are they? Oh, here it is. So those are our ships we got to go after. Well, the Orari is worth 2 victory points, and I think he's the one to try to sink. And we're also in the same hex as the DeBurton. So, well, before we think about that, let's first see if we avoid detection from these guys. So now the escorts get to detect. The kite is two spaces away from the U-43. He cannot detect us. The Daring, however, can. He's 1. In order for him to detect us, he needs a 6 or higher to detect us. So a 6 or higher, he finds us. Nope, it's a 2. He does not find us. That's big. That is big. That is big. So now we got to roll for movement. So the kite, he rolls a 4, he stays where he is. The Daring rolls a 6, and he stays where he is. So these guys don't move from their previous position. So I got a clear shot at these freighters right here. We got a clear shot. So let's see what we're going to do. The Orari is worth the most points. We're going to fire, and we get a +2 to gun and torpedo die rolls at range 0 or 1. So I could probably fire 3 at the Orari, maybe 1 each at each other freighter. Try to sink the Orari definitely, and maybe get lucky on one of the other ones, because we get 2 to gun and torpedo die rolls. So let's see what we got here, shall we? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to fire one torpedo at the Pirates, 1 at the Robin Moore, 1 at the DeBurton, but 3 at the Orari. I'll be happy if we can just maybe sink her. So here we go, people. Let's see what we got. So we'll do I think we'll save the Orari for last, and we'll see if we can sink any of the other ones. Our first shot is going to be against the DeBurton. We're going to fire 1 torpedo at it. You get 2 to the gun and torpedo rolls. Plus is 1, so he gets a +3. He gets a +3. No negative in range. No negative in range. Now you get a fired -1 here. Okay, so it is 2. That's 1 + 2 is 3. No negative in range because it's in the same one. And so it's going to be a 3. So we add 3 on the shot on the DeBurton. We need a 6 to sink her. So fire on the DeBurton. A 6 will sink it. Fire 1. Shoom. Yes, we got an 8. +3 is 11. Kaboom! The DeBurton goes down. So one torpedo sinks the Tiburton. Glug, 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 glug. The next shot is going to go after the Robin Moore. Now, he's one space away from us, though. So we get +1, +2 to the gun, which is a 3, -1 range, so a 2 is what's needed. The Robin Moore is a 9 to sink, so we need a 7 to sink the Robin Moore. So we fire one torpedo at it. So we need a 7 to sink the Robin Moore. Fire 2. Shoom. Nope. That's going to be a 6 + 2 is an 8. That will do heavy damage to the Robin Moore, though. So the Robin Moore is got heavy damage. That will do that. The next is going to be against the Pirates. The Pirates, we're going to fire one torpedo with that. Again, it is +1. With the +2 to gun torpedo ranges makes it a 3. -1 to the range is a 2. Plus the number fired -1, nothing there. So, and the Pirates needs a 10 to sink, so we need an 8 on that. So an 8 or higher, we sink the Pirates. Fire 3. Shoom. No, it's going to be also heavy damage on the Pirates. So the Pirates also takes heavy damage. Now we go after the Orari. The Orari, we fired 3 torpedoes at that. So we'll go with this. We'll get rid of that 6 there. We fired 3 torpedoes at the Orari. The +1 to torpedo skill, +2 to the gun and torpedo die rolls, which is a 3. -1 per range is +2. Plus the number fired, which is 3, which is 5. -1 is 4. So we get a 4 on each roll. So add 4. And in order to sink the Orari, we have 11. It needs an 11 to sink, so we need a 7 on one of these 3 rolls. Fire 4. Shoom. Yes, there it is. A 10 + 4 is 14. And kaboom, the Orari goes down. Glug, 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 glug. So we sink the Orari, and that is big. That is big. But now we got to get out of Dodge. We've already fired all our torpedoes. The Pirates and Robin Moore are heavily damaged. They're pretty much dead in the water, but we got to get out of there. So it is time to leave. It is time to leave. So now we know they're alerted because then obviously there is a submarine in the area. Obviously, they just lost 2 ships of the convoy of the merchant ships. So we did pretty good this time. They were a total of 3 victory points and 3 experience points. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we get the victory points for that. That's not too bad. So now we go. So now we sank the 2 ships. Now we got to get out of there. We're going to stay submerged and we're going to move. We're going to move, and I think we're going to move back 1 space. We're going to move back 1 space is what we're going to do there. And then lag. These 2 are dead in the water, but the escorts, though, have the lag, I think, on that. So let me check the lag movement again. But they're dead in the water. So actually, there's not going to be a lag because they're not moving anymore. So there's no lag. They stay put where they're at. So we stay here. So we could get in a little bit of trouble here. So we got to get out of here as fast as possible. So now we got 2 angry British escorts searching for our sub. So there is no lag because they're moving at a 0. We're actually moving faster than they are. Okay. But they're dead in the water. So we move 1 space. There's no lag. So we're actually moving faster. So we're actually just staying put right there. At least I think that's how the lag movement works on that. Okay. All right. So that's it for the lag movement. We gotta try to get out of here. All right. So let's see what these escorts want to do. So now the escorts try to detect us. So now they get a +1 detection rating. So they both get a chance to try to detect us. So daring is 2 away from us. Okay. But now, all right, with an alerted counter, okay, that means that he gets an extra to try to find us. So each alerted counter improves the escort's range and the die rolls detect U-boats by 1. So let's see. So he is 2 hexes away from us. So let's see what he does. So the daring is going to roll first to try to detect us. And for detection, it is +1 to ranges. So the daring has a detect rating of, let's move these over here a little bit so we can see the daring. His detect is a 6. His detect is a 6, so he still needs a 6 or a 6. And now and he makes him now a 1, so now he needs a 5. So a 5 or higher, he finds us. It's a 4. The daring didn't find us. The kite now, 1, 2. He is 2 away from us. 1, 2 away from us. The kite has a detect rating of 6, but he also gets a chance to detect us there. So if he gets a 5, he finds us. It's a 9. We got detected. We are found. Oh boy. Not good. We are in trouble. So we're detected. And this, I think, is one of the first times they've ever been detected in any one of these battles we've done so far. So now let's see what they do. And this is the first time I think I've ever been detected, so now I got to see what we do. So, detection against. If there are detected U-boats in tactical display, the escort moves the number of areas equal to the speed rating shown on the escort card, modified by any target damage encounters. The escort moves directly toward a detected U-boat. If more than one detected U-boat, randomly draw which one escort stops moving and enters the area of the U-boat. Well, the daring, right, got here. He has a speed of 3. He said he's gonna say hello to us. And the kite, 1, 2, and they're both gonna say hello to us. So I got 2 very angry British ships on my butt. I got a destroyer and a sloop. This was the first time. Yes, this is the first time I believe I've been detected. So here we go. So the detection is, and they move. Now the attack. We are not an aggressive U-boat, but the enemy does get to attack. So let's see what happens. So if the escort can attack a detected surface U-boat, they are not. An escort can attack a detected submerged U-boat using the submerged hit numbers shown on the escort card when it is in the same area as the U-boat. Enemy merchant and naval ships can attack any surface U-boat using the surface attack numbers shown on the ship card at a range of 0-1, even if the U-boat is not detected. Enemy ships attacked by drawing hit counters. No die rolls are made. Once you determine the U-boat targeted by an enemy ship attack, that U-boat can react to the attack. The target U-boat can only choose one reaction to an enemy ship attack: crash dive or deep dive. The U-boat does not have to react. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a deep dive. So we're going to do a deep dive since we're already submerged. So we're going to do a deep dive. So we place a deep dive counter on the U-boat. So we're going to go deep and try to avoid this. When a submerged U-boat is a target attack, it can choose to use a deep dive to reduce the chance of being hit. When a U-boat uses a deep dive, do the following: place a deep dive counter on the U-boat. Add 2 stress points to its card. So automatically 2 stress points to here. Do not draw a hit counter for the escort's attack, but roll a die. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. All right, so we roll a die. Oh, they're definitely going to say hello. The evasion rating of this U-boat is a 4 because he has he's got 2 stress, but the status is okay. So it is a 4. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. So we need a 4 or lower. It is a 1. There is no effect. There is no effect. There is no effect. So that says 2 rolls. If the die roll is greater than the evasion rating, the U-boat takes. It's not. So now we go to attack resolution. So let me see if there's anything I have to do. I think this says no effect, right? So roll a die for each enemy ship attack. If the die roll is equal to the U-boat's evasion rating, that's a crash dive. So we do a deep dive. U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. Does that mean there is no, they don't hit, they can't get me at all? They don't even do attack? So let me just double check that rule. So when a submerged U-boat is the target of an attack, it can choose to deep dive to reduce the chances of being hit. When a U-boat uses a deep dive, do the following: place a deep dive counter on the U-boat, which we did, add 2. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. Okay. Attack resolution. Place all the hit counters in opaque cup. Place the damage counters to the side to be selected as needed. Enemy ships inflict damage on U-boats with either temporary or that. Well, what if I did deep dive? So I did a deep dive. So let me see what we got here. I may not. I hope I'm doing it right. Timeout. ID Jester joins us here in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. So let's see here. U-boat does not have to react when a surface U-boat. So deep dive is a target of attack. You can choose to use deep dive to reduce the chance of being hit. Add 2 stress points on its card, which we did. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. So there's no effect on the deep dive. Okay, fine. So there's no effect by doing a deep dive. Now, so now place all the hit counters in an opaque cup. But if the U-boat has already done a deep dive, then the escort, you're saying here that there is no effect because the U-boat gets to attack. So you get an enemy. So the enemy attacks, but I can go ahead and so I do a deep dive. When a submerged U-boat target of attack, it can choose to use a deep dive to reduce the chance of being hit. So I reduce the chances of being hit. Okay, that's fine. But what happens? Am I just now they can't hit me? Here's your question. Here's a question, ID Jester. U-43 was detected by sunk two ships. Is now being attacked by two escorts who detected U-43. So they are detected. U-43 has done a deep dive. So I can do a deep dive, and then comes the reaction before I do the attack resolution. If I succeed in a deep dive, do they still attack? Do I still draw counters for attack, or do I avoid the attacks from them? This is actually the first time I have been detected in any of the patrols here so far. So because I got the rule book here in front of me, and I'm looking here. And let's see, escort movement, detection range, detected U-boat, ship attacks. This is against surface U-boats or something like that. That's ship attacks, escorts. So I'm trying to figure this out because I have the rule book in front of me, but it says when a submerged U-boat is a target of attack, it can choose to use a deep dive to reduce the chances of being hit. It doesn't mean you avoid getting hit. Oh, okay. Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. So add 2 stress points. Do not draw a hit counter for the escort's attack, but roll a die. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there is no effect. I'm sorry. I read it wrong. I thought, okay. I didn't finish reading it. So do not draw a hit counter for the escort's attack, roll a die. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, there's no effect. Well, I already rolled a die. And the die roll was less than the evasion rating. So there is no effect. So that was the effect from one of the escorts. So I guess I have to roll for the other one. The Kite found me, but the Daring did not. The Kite found me, but the Daring did not. But I do know, page 20 of the U-boat leader rules. Yeah. Have no effect, but roll a die if the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating. Yep, I'm looking right at it too. I have the rule book in front of me as well. So there is no effect. If the die roll is greater than the evasion rating, the U-boat takes 1 flooding temporary damage hit. Now, is that per escort or is that the entire attack? So enemy ships, so let me see, is that per escort? I'm going to say that's per escort. So I'm going to say the Daring's attack missed. The question is, does the Kite's attack miss? So it says deep dive 2 rolls. So, but is that per escort or is that the complete attack? That's what I'm trying to find. Complete attack. Seems to be a general agreement in the form that you add 2 stress ones for the dive, which I did, but roll an evasion check for each escort attack declared. Okay, so the Daring's attack missed. The Kite will now try his, and his and you don't use the attack, so it's a 4 evasion. So I got to roll a 4 to avoid again under a 4, and I do. That's a 3. So nothing from the 2 escorts. So U-43 got the hell out of did not get touched. All right. So I'm going to say the deep dive onward, so it's possible to accumulate multiple hull hits in one combat phase. Okay. All right. So we are detected. So we know that. So now we're going to go to. So now we go to cautious U-boats, but I can't attack. I'm deep dive, so I can't do anything. The only thing I can do is get the heck out of there. So, or try to. Cautious U-boats with a deep dive or silent running counter cannot attack. Okay. End of each combat resolution phase, remove any silent running or deep dive counters from U-boats. And if there are still U-boats and ships on tactical display, repeat the combat resolution phase. If there are no U-boats or ships left in the tactical display, go to the post-combat resolution phase. Okay. All right. So that's the end of that combat resolution phase. Now I got to go back to U-boat movement. All right. So we go back to U-boat movement. Thank you there, Kirk. I'll look at it. So we go back to U-boat movement. I'm still showing a 1. But now we remove the deep dive because it's the next stage. But now I wonder if I want to do silent running and try to get out of there. So let me see what silent running does. Silent running equals speed 0. So let me find that real fast. A detected submerged U-boat can choose to use a silent running option during its movement to try to escape detection. When a U-boat selects silent running, do the following. Place a silent running counter on the U-boat counter. Treat the U-boat as having speed 0 during the lag movement step. Roll a die. If the die roll is equal to or less than the U-boat's evasion rating, the detected counter is removed from the U-boat. If the die roll is greater than the evasion rating, the U-boat suffers 2 stress and the detected counter remains in play. Or do I want to just try to get out of here? I'm in the middle of the convoy, so he needs to. I gotta get 3 spaces out of here before I can leave. Let's see. Al Red Sox fan joins us here in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, as my submarine right now is being said hello to by 2 very angry escorts. Al Red Sox, of course, people, if you don't know him, is the king of the hill. Check out his unbelievable, spectacular, fantastical, invincible, indefatigable, invulnerable, unbelievable channel. And because he is a master, he is a jack of all trades and a master of all trades. So everybody check out Al Red Sox fan. He is awesome. Yes, it is a little cold. Well, actually, it's not that bad. This is September 1939. It is still a little bit chilly up there, I guess, in the North Atlantic and the British Isles. So let's see here. So do we do silent running and try to get rid of the detected line or detected symbol, or do we just move? I think we got to do silent running. So we're going to do silent running. So let's see if we can get out of here. So we're going to do silent running, speed 0. So a detected So we have movement during its movement. So when U-boat selects silent running, do the following. Place a silent running counter on the U-boat counter, which we do, which he's right there. So his speed is a 0. And we treat this U-boat as speed having 0 during the lag movement step. The only problem is both the other 2 ships that I damaged have heavy damage. They're not moving. So neither am I. So roll a die. If the die roll is less than or equal to the U-boat's evasion rating, the detected counter is removed from the U-boat. So far we got lucky with this. Let's see if we can do it one more time. His evasion rating is a 4. His evasion rating is a 4. So let's see if we get it. So a 4 or lower, detected counter goes away. Nope, it's a 5. We did not. So we get 2 more stress to the U-boat. So he now has 4 stress, and the detected counter remains in play. U-boats with silent running counters cannot attack during their turn. Remove the silent running counter at the end of the combat resolution phase. Okay. So there is no lag movement because they're not moving. Everybody's dead in the water. Maybe we should just move. Maybe I should just get the heck out of Dodge. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe we'll just get the heck out of Dodge here. So they stay detected. So escorts detect. They move, but they're not going to. They're going to stay right where I'm at. So now they're going to get to attack. Maybe I should have just tried to get out of here. Oh, boy. Okay. I hope I got this right. So if I didn't do a silent running, can I do another deep dive? Can I do one or the other, or can I do both? Let's see. This is not good. I have a funny feeling U-43 is not going to get out of this one. So, an escort can attack a detected surface U-boat using a surface hit number shown on the escort card in a range of 0, 1, or 2 areas. An escort can attack a detached surface. Yeah. So U-boat reaction. We're still in still submerged at the target of attack. You can choose to use a deep dive to reduce the chances of being hit when a U-boat uses a deep dive. So we can still. So I think we could do silent running and deep dive at the same time. I don't think we can. I think we could do. I can't. We don't have to do one or the other. We can do both. So we're going to try to deep dive again. We're going to try to deep dive again. Hopefully we can get out of this, but I don't know about this though. So add 2 more stress points to the card. So now the stress is now 4, now becomes a 6. As we're going to go 6 now on stress. He's still okay. If the die roll is less than or equal to the U-boat's evasion rating, there's a no effect. So for the daring, he will drop some depth charges on us, and our evasion rating is a 4, and we avoid that. So nothing happens from the daring. Takes him back from the daring, and now the kite will try to hit us, and his will try to hit us. The kite is only 3 light submerged, so a 4 or lower, we avoid that, and we do. Wow, I couldn't do silent running, but I avoid the damage from those 2 guys. Ugh, wow. All right, so what do we do now? So that's it for that. As the cautious U-boats, he can't do anything. So we go back to the start of the next phase. We're still detected. I'm thinking of surfacing and just getting out of here. And hopefully I don't get smacked. But the problem is a submarine on the surface against a destroyer and a sloop usually does not give good results. So what I'm going to do here is I should have probably just moved. So we go back to the beginning of the movement phase, and I'm going to get out of here. So I'm going to try to move out. So we're going to go to short range. And of course, we still stay detected, I believe. So let's see. Let me go back to that now. So. Give me one moment here, gentlemen. I'm still learning on this. First time I ever was detected in this game. All right. All right, so escort detection. So each escort now detects during the U-boat movement step, you can do your normal submerged movement and then declare silent running, or you could not move and declare silent running. You are considered to be at speed 0 during the lag movement step. That I did know. In that case, if I did that. So, all right, so we move, and we're going to go. So really, that tells me I could have moved. So you're telling me I could have moved, did silent running, and then move again. You could do your normal submerged movement and then declare silent running, or you could not move and declare silent running. So if that's the case, then I would have, if that's the rule, then I would be here because I would have moved and then did silent running, although I was still detected anyway. So we'll go here and do silent running. The problem is I'm getting high on stress. So now we're going to move to meet. That means that these 2 guys would have been here then, because I kept still detected. So they're still there. So now we'll go back to silent running. We'll go back to silent running and see if we can avoid it. We've been lucky with this evasion by not getting hit by these escorts, but I got to get out of here. But if I can go ahead and get out of this, I can surface, move 2, and get off the board. So we're going to do silent running again. So we have a speed of 0. So we need, so an evasion of 4 will go ahead and remove that detected marker from us. Nope, can't get rid of it. So now the stress goes to 8, and now we're shaking. So now he's shaking. Now his evasion rating is a 2. Oh boy, I don't know, guys. He might not make it. Well, let's see what happens. So he's got 8 stress now, and now he is shaken. So they still have detection. Escort movement against detected U-boats. So, of course, we're still detected. So against detected U-boats, they now move into here. Yeah, okay. So they move into here again. Because they get to move. There is no lag. So they get to move. Now we're not aggressive, so they get to attack. And I'm gonna have to, if I deep dive, I could try and go another deep dive again. So we're gonna do it. He's already shaken, so it doesn't matter. So we're gonna try another deep dive, but now the evasion rating is a 2 instead of a 4. So here we go. Deep diving again, trying to get out of here. Evasion rating is a 2. The fire from the daring is a 3. Nope. So now what happens is if we miss that, it's a 3. If the die roll is greater than the evasion rating, the U-boat takes 1 flooding temporary damage hit. Okay. So he's flooding. And now the other one gets it. Can I avoid that? Nope. Nope. So I took flooding and a deep dive, and the other one. So what, I get 2 flooding deep dives is what it has now. In fact, the damn boat's submerged. So that's flooding. So we get another flooding count. So we get another flooding counter. I didn't think you could add 2 stress points. So now his stress is a 10. I don't think I have a stress of 10. I don't think there is a 10 stress marker in here. So now his stress is 10 because he failed. So his stress is 10. This boat's taking a beating. So it took a flooding counter. And the die roll, if the die roll is greater than the evasion rating, the U-boat takes 1 flooding temporary damage hit. So what does that mean? Do I take another flooding damage hit? The die roll wasn't a 10, so I don't take a whole lasting damage. The U-boat suffers temporary damage from flooding. Flooding counts as a hull hit, but is always temporary damage. All right, that's fine. So I guess I take another flooding counter. So flooding counts as a hull hit, and his hull is a 3. Okay, I get it. So it counts as a hull hit. When the number of hull hits is equal to the hull rating for the U-boat is sunk. So right now I take 2 flooding damage, and his hull rating is a 3. So if I take another flooding damage, he's gone. He's gone. All right. So I think I figured that out. The U-boat suffers temporary damage from flooding. Flooding counts as a hull hit, but it's always temporary damage. All right. So that's what I'll do. And we're cautious, so we got to get out of here. You can hear the hull screeching from the pressure. Exactly. That's pretty good there. So what do we do? So that's it for the attacks. So now we go back to the combat resolution phase. The start of the combat resolution phase. Okay, so we go back to the beginning of the combat resolution phase, and it is his turn. Well, if I know this, if it is my turn, I should be able to surface, move to, and get off of that board. So let me see if I can do that. A U-boat can change between being surface and submerged before it moves. A U-boat may exit the tactical display by moving off the display from any long-range area. A U-boat with a stress level that makes it unfit must move to exit the tactical display as directly as possible. And of course, if it moves off the display, the battle is over. So that's what we're going to do. So here's what we do. So if I follow these, if I know these rules right, U-43 will surface. He will surface. He has a speed of 2, so he goes 1, 2, and he escapes. He escapes. And that's how I'm going to read the rules if I'm right on that. So U-43 gets out of Dodge. Once you move off the board, it is done. So U-43 gets on the surface and gets away. Now I kind of have a little bit of an issue with that because these destroyers would be able to hunt this guy down. But it says once you move off the display, after all U-boats are moved off the tactical display or are sunk, start the post-combat resolution phase. All right? Doesn't matter, though. He's going to have to go back to port because of all the stress. So U-43's patrol pretty much just ended. Funny that being blown out of the sky or crash landing a helicopter would seem more appealing than being crushed to death or drowning. All right, so that's it. So we did do some damage, and these guys are dead in the water. But this battle, if I'm from this right, it is over. So now we move on to U-44, but first we have to take care of these guys. So let's see what we got. So the detective marker comes off, as well as the warning. See you later there, Al, Red Sox fan, my good friend Al. Remember, Al, opening day, 1981, Monday, Phillies and Reds. So make sure you get your tickets because they're selling out fast. As we start another season of Inside Pitch. So Monday night's opening day for 1981. Be there or be square. I know that was corny. All right, so U-43 moves off, so we go to post-combat resolution. So we add a stress, which is going to make that U-boat unfit. We reload the torpedoes. And we record the victory points, which we already got. And now we go to action decision with no contacts. If the active U-boat has no contacts remaining for this turn, remove all counters in the tactical display. So he now goes to the search box. We'll worry about him later. But he now has 11 stress. So he now has 11 stress on his U-boat. This U-boat is now unfit. The flooding counters I know are removed, I believe. So let's see here. I'm going to make sure about that. Let's see. Flooding. Flooding the U-boat suffers temporary damage. A U-boat can suffer temporary damage. Counters are removed from the U-boat card during stress recovery. All right, so it still stays on there until we go to the refit segment. Okay. Is there a preseason show when you start a season? No, there won't be no preseason show. We'll go right. I thought about doing that, but no, we're just going to go right in opening day. You guys already know what's about to happen, so no preseason show. We'll get right into the opening day game. Phillies and Reds, Steve Carlton and Tom Seaver. What a way to start the season for 1981. All right, back to this. So U44, he's next. So we got to see what we're going to do with him now. So U44, he's patrolling in the British Isles, so we draw 2 event cards from him. So the first one is clear weather, no effect. Second event, naval target. If the U-boat is not unfit, it may expend any 4 torpedoes and suffer 3 stress to gain 3 victory points. Absolutely will do that. So this 5 will now become a 3, actually become a 2. Absolutely. Because he's not unfit. So U44 is in good shape. So he does take 3 stress, though. He does take 3 stress, but he gets 3 victory points over U44. So that's pretty good. So we're good there. All right. So that's his. Now we got to patrol for him. So now we got to see if he finds any contacts. So U44 is regular. So let's see if he finds anything. And of course, there is a warning in there because we did find a contact. So whatever the contact is, it's -2. It's a 3 minus 2 is 1, and he doesn't find any. U44 finds no contacts. Not a good. We did well the first patrol, but this second patrol is really doing the job. Bill Swift did not debut until 1985. Well, we've already done the 85 season there, Steeler fan, so I don't think you have to worry about that. What did Bill Swift ever do to you, Matt? Bill Swift didn't do anything to you. What did Bill Swift ever do to the Astros? If anybody wants to know what he did to the Astros, check out my 1994 season restart in my channel. All right, but let's stick with war. So these guys are out, so we can get rid of these. We can get rid of these cards if we've left the battle. So nothing happens there for U44. He can't find anybody. Because of the -2 warning, that's what saved any contacts out there. So now we go to the refit segment. So promote U-boats. Let's see. Does U43 get promoted? The answer is yes, he does. He does get promoted. So actually, he becomes an ace. So this U-boat actually got promoted after going through all that hell. Just saying. So U43 is now an ace. And that makes a big difference. Because now he does not have to return if he doesn't want to. So he becomes an ace. U44, his veteran level is 11. He does not get promoted or anything like that, so he stays as a veteran. All right, so promote the U-boats. Patrol limit stress recovery. A U-boat can reduce the number of stress points at sea, and of course, if you have a cool ability, you reduce by 1 stress. So this 11 now becomes a 10. So now he is shaken, but he is not sunk, but he is no longer unfit. And of course, we reload the torpedoes for him. So we're going to change that 7. Let's see. So we're going to put, let's see, 1 here. And we'll make that a 6 here. But he still has a lot of stress. Okay, so U-43, and he keeps the stress because he doesn't have a cool rating on it. So now what do? Well, the thing about it is actually, according to the rules, which I did not follow, since U-43 was unfit, he doesn't go to the search box. He automatically returned to port. Because if he's unfit, he has to go back to port. So let me just make sure about that. Because he was unfit before the promotion. Yeah, he goes back to port. So his patrol is done. So U-43 is done. So U-44 right now is the only sub I have left in the British Isles to try to go ahead and do something with. So he's going to stay out there. So his job is done. So now it's up to U-44 to try to do as much damage as possible. So he's still patrolling in the British Isles. So we go back to the tactical segment, operations segment, and he's going to stay put. So gets 2 event cards. First card, enemy aircraft. Roll a die, add evasion rating. A 5, his evasion rating is a 3, so it makes 8. 1 light hit. U-boat gains 1 experience point. So he gets an experience point, but he gets a light hit. And it is going to be engine. Okay, so what does that do? So engine. There is damage to the U-boat's engines. The U-boat's maximum speed is reduced by 1, but never less than 0. If the U-boat suffers 2 lasting engine hits, the U-boat is considered sunk. All right, well, that was a engine, but it wasn't lasting, so it's just an engine damage. And of course, the flooding off of this is gone because it was repaired. So it has I gotta find the engine one here. Here we go. So it has an engine. So again, the U-boat's maximum speed is reduced by 1, but never less than 0. All right. So it took an engine hit on not that one, this one here. Okay. So now we now draw a second event card, and it just gets better. Yeah, unfit. And a lone merchant. If the U-boat is not unfit, it may expend any 1 torpedo to gain 1 victory point. He is not unfit. He's still fine. So he will use a torpedo, make it a 1, and we will get a victory point for U-44 to sink a lone merchant. All right. Now he's got to see if we get some contacts. So this U-boat is done. He has returned to port. He got too much beaten up, which makes perfect sense. His crew has had it. You got to get him back to port. So he is done. So he's not sunk though, but he is done. So now we go to here. So let's see if you can find some contacts. So there's nothing here from stopping him. We get a 3. I'm not getting good rolls at all in this. So again, only one contact. And it is 6. It is 6 merchants and 3 escorts. Ugh. 6 merchants and 3 escorts. I'm going to avoid that and not do anything with it. And that will be no contacts for us in that. So he will move into the search box. So I'm not going to go after that. 1 sub against those guys. They already got some stress on them. And you need to go after maybe some lone merchant ships if possible. But you know what we're going to do? Instead of that, I'm going to go ahead and move to port. It is already 126. And we're going to return to port and we're going to end the patrol. And that will also end the campaign. So let's see where we finished. So U-44 returned to port. So let me add up here and see what we've got up here. So we got 3 experience points from U-Boat 43. We got 5 from U-44. So we got 10 plus 3 is 13 plus 8 is 21 plus 5 is 26 minus 4 for the turn for C. So nobody was sunk. So it's going to be a total of 22 total victory points. And unfortunately, we're going to wind up with a poor result. Couldn't get to adequate. We're going to finish with a poor result here. And one of the reasons why we finished with a poor result is because really we only used 2 U-boats. Even though I chose 2 U-boats with a veteran rating and an ace rating or something like that, pretty much I believe you need at least 3 or 4 or 5 to really get into here to really do the damage. I noticed that in this game, you need to have 3, 4, or 5 U-boats going out there as, you know, to really get it. So next time we play U-Boat Leader, I'll probably add some more. I may do another patrol, another medium patrol, because tomorrow is going to be Tiger Leader. It's going to be the first battle of the 3rd week in the Poland Makra 39 campaign. We're going to try to go after the sappers. And then, of course, Friday will be against the large armor force. And maybe what we'll do Saturday, we'll probably do a short U-Boat Leader patrol in the same campaign. The battle begins, but maybe I'll throw all 4, 5, or 6 U-boats on the board and see what we can do with that. And we'll just play as long as we can for that. So I think that's how we're going to do it. I still got some more learning to do on U-Boat Leader, but I'll tell you, these leader games are excellent. Guys, I'll tell you, these leader games are excellent. U-Boat Leader is excellent. Tiger Leader is excellent. I don't know when I'm going to get to the aircraft ones, the Zero Leader or Corsair Leader, because they don't occur until later in the war. I was told, according to DVG, that the guy that created the aircraft games, the Zero Leader and the Corsair Leader, is working on Jaeger Leader, which is going to be Luftwaffe aircraft for the Germans. There'll be German aircraft. So that would probably mean you'd start with aircraft action in the early part of the war. There's going to be some more Warfighter coming out. I am still on the fence if I want to get any Warfighter. I have been watching some of the Warfighter playthroughs. Rough Swordsman Wargamer, I've watched his playthroughs. What do you call it? That other one, that Seek one, I forget the full name of it. The Seeking ones. He has a good one on Warfighter. Rough Swordsman Wargamer does a very good job on Warfighter. So I haven't decided to pull the the trigger on that. The thing about Warfighter, that's squad level combat. So seek out and play. Thank you, Brian. That's squad level combat. So I don't know if I really want to go to squad level combat. That being said, Warfighter looks like fun. The problem is I don't know if I have the room on my desk to play it. I'm lucky I can get U-boat leader, Tiger leader, and the Corsair leader boards. B-17 Flying Fortress leader, I'm not sure if I can get on this board yet. I'm not sure about that one if I ever get to that. Sherman leader, of course, will fit because it's the same size as Tiger leader. And then, of course, DVG is coming out with Spruance leader, which is Cold War naval combat, and I'm definitely getting that because I do love Cold War naval combat with that, since I served in the Navy during that time, pretty much in the 90s. So some of the ships he's got I was actually on. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Of course, with the baseball season starting on Monday, my World War II is probably only going to be relegated now to weekends. So I'm probably going to have to do a World War II game in the morning, if possible. And, of course, the baseball at night. The baseball games, of course, I always play every night, and that's going to strip, and that's still going to stay there. And remember now, it's one baseball game per every 3 days of baseball. So we're going to get through the regular seasons a lot faster. It won't be so much of a grind. And, of course, the 1981 season is a lot faster because of the strike. I know, I'm thinking I might be able to get Warfighter. I may pick up a copy, and we'll see what happens. I got to decide. Anyway, Brian Patterson, Steeler fan, Al Red Sox fan, ID Jester, thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out of the ocean. Subscribe if you've not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we will see you guys tomorrow night for World War II Tiger leader as we begin the final week of the Poland-Makra 1939 campaign, the cutoff objective. See you guys tomorrow night. Take care.